Let's get to the business of football. Here, got some audio issues clear. Had a little audio issues. We're going to get that squared away as well. Street Fighter. Joken. Hyper uppercut. Come on, you guys out there that watch Street Fighter and everything like that. My brother played this game every day. We had to, I was like, I had I have other brothers, and he was more of a gamer than I ever was. He used to play this every character on the game he would know. But Street Fighter was the game back in the day. So what we're gonna do is gonna talk about Ravens position battles today. So battling here is the off season now. Now that we are here, still in the off season, we're gonna talk about some of the position battles that the Ravens are having, who can win a starting job, what jobs are up for grabs. Okay, so some of these we know are not up for grabs. Starting quarterback is obviously not up for grabs, right? Running back, starting running back, we all know. But there are some spots that are going to be fought out. That's what training camp is, and that's where we're going to take a look at as we get now that mini camp is over. Let's go ahead and take a look here at some of the training camp battles that are coming up. Number 3 receiver, Nelson Aguilar, who I thought last year was terrific. Kind of use a baseball terminology, maybe not quite the same, but Ryan O'Hearn. Watching the Orioles and Yankees tonight, so we'll get to that. But the Orioles, Ryan O'Hearn, basically a lot of times gets stuff when you need it, gets hits in the key situations, gets hits with 2 runs out. That's what Nelson Aguilar was last year for the Ravens. Nelson really was very good catching the football and moving those chains in key situations. A lot of his catches were on third down. A lot of his, I'm telling you, 35 receptions, 381, 4 TDs. That was the best I ever saw for that type of stat line. I was very impressed with Nelson Aguilar last season. Devontae Walker is coming in. He was drafted in the 4th round for the Ravens. I think they're going to be battling for the number 3 receiver. I don't think I honestly think they are comfortable with Aguilar as the 3rd receiver. I really do. I think they would like Devontae Walker to supplant him somewhere. I think it's kind of similar to Patrick McCary in the sense of they like him. Would they feel comfortable starting him? Yeah. Would they feel they have a stronger team if he's in the same role he's in? Absolutely. I think that's it. I think Devontae Walker is going to get every chance. I don't know if he unseats Aguilar. I think it'll be Aguilar as the number 3 receiver, at least at the start. But I think Devontae Walker is going to get every chance to go ahead and win that slot receiver role for the Ravens as well. I do think I do think it's etched in stone 1 and 2. Bateman and Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers 1 and 2. I don't think there's any question there. Backup quarterback, Josh Johnson and Devin Leary. Okay. These are the career numbers for Josh Johnson. He's had 2,000 yards, 2,280 yards, 13 touchdowns. I think it was 16 picks in his career. Devin Leary, rookie 6th round draft pick from UK, same school as Tim Couch. I'm looking at this. I think it's worth noting. I don't know. I really have no idea. I'm really thinking Josh Johnson. I could say this with Josh Johnson. There's a lot of people don't like him. I know a lot of fans don't like him. I don't have a big problem with Josh Johnson for 1 game. I really don't. I think like if Lamar goes out in a game or can't finish a game, or we need to start a game like a late season, you're already in the playoff. I got no problem with a Josh Johnson playing 1 game or playing, finishing a game or playing, a singular game. Weeks and weeks of him, if they need it, doesn't make me feel good. Leary, we don't know anything. I physically he has the gifts. I'll say that, but he kind of reminds me of a name that I don't like. It's Kyle Buller. He gets throttable. Definitely has the arm strength, but man, throws the ball downfield. Here's the other problem here. I think with these guys, I don't think either one of them is like Lamar. So, like, not only are they not as up to the level they certainly would be up to the level of Lamar Jackson, but you're trying to get them to at least a Tyler Huntley where you can get through a game, get through a series of games. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they bring somebody in. I would assume it'd be Josh Johnson as your number two quarterback if this holds up. They've already. This is why I think fans were wanting Malik Cunningham, who's already been moved to wide receiver. So interesting. Here we go. The offensive line, bunch of competitions here. Andrew Voorhees. So a bench. Here's a guy didn't play at all last year. Um, was picked in the seventh round, kind of projected in the third round, hurt himself at the combine, missed all last season, going against Josh Jones at the left guard. Jones is a veteran of the league, played a lot of tackle, played for Arizona, played for Houston, had like 3 starts. Who will be the starting left guard, I think? I think this is more, I'm more leaning Voorhees in this situation. I think they're going to give him every opportunity to start. You can kind of tell too by what they've been saying that they really like Voorhees, that they're really saying all the right thing, and all well we've seen everything I've seen reported with him with Voorhees. Actually, when he hurt his ankle, when he actually had the injury at the combine, still did the weight reps with his boot on just to show. Can he stay healthy? That's the thing. And not just, I understand he's just returning from the injury, but he had injury issues in college before that. Is he going to be healthy enough to be an NFL player with the talent is there? Josh Jones, I think is very similar to John Simpson. I think he's definitely a fallback option. I think he may surprise some people. Here's the thing, though, with him: play tackle, moving him to guard. So sometimes that makes a big difference. Guard is easier to play than tackle in a lot of ways, especially if you have the size. He's not an oversized guard like 308. So it'll be interesting. I'm thinking Voorhees if I had to put money on at the start. However, Josh Jones, don't want to read too much into it here at the start because we're still in minicamp. Like generally, guys who haven't played aren't number one on depth chart. But I think Josh Jones at the start here is, I think, leading the depth chart here. All right. Ben Cleveland and Masa, and they're calling him Salalutu here at the right guard spot. Ben, come on, man. Ben Cleveland, I think, it's very fascinating here. I'm not sure he makes the team. He doesn't win this competition. I think he's been here. This is 4 years now here. I do think, though, he is in the right spot. He's at right guard. So that's a real thing. I think having him at right guard is the spot for him. He can't play left side. I think that was a lot of the problem why he didn't win it. I think he just wasn't. He's just a right guard mauler. I think that is more what he is. So he's definitely in the right spot, and I definitely think this is probably more of the ones we've seen. This is more his job to lose. Lalutu, I think, was really could have really was valuable in camp. I mean, really in camp last year, got off to a good start, had a shot at actually getting the left guard last year. So I think they're going to definitely take a look at him. I think at guard. Not hearing great things about Cleveland here so far in minicamp. A little worried about his conditioning, etc. Not getting the snaps. I don't. I gotta think Ben Cleveland's going to start, but I keep saying that. I've said that I think the last couple years, but I gotta think this is his spot here to go ahead. But I think Lalutu is going to get an opportunity. I don't think it's certainly not etched in stone here, but I think Ben Cleveland, I've had to pick of the two. Interesting. I think this might be one of the most interesting training camp battles, I think, in all of the NFL. And I'm serious. I mean, you can't find more different here than with these two guys. Roger Rosengarten, who was a starter at the University of Washington, second round pick, and then you got Daniel Falele. You can't find two more different guys competing at a position. This is really, really fascinating. So you got the veteran Daniel Falele. I think this is his third year with the Ravens. I think this is year three for him. Um, yeah, I think this is year three for Daniel Falele. And he's a mauler. Get your hands on you. 380 pounds, huge. Uh, Maybe they kick him in the guard. I've heard that. But I think he's going to get every shot at tackle. I think he's actually starting the mini camps as the number one tackle. Big, huge, physical mauler. And then you got Roger Rosengard. He's a guy picked in the second round, and he's definitely the zone run, the zone blocker. Much smaller. It's about a 70-pound difference between these two guys. Definitely, I compared them like to a Matt Lepsis, Kirk Stafford, one of the nine. I mean, just quick off the ball, better athlete than he looks like. I don't see any way in the world you play the same way with these two guys. You are changing something. So it's really, I think that could factor in who you want to play, which style do you want to play. Do you want the quick off the ball? Do you want the mover? Do you want a guy like that? Or do you want the mauler? Do you want the hands? Um, I don't think the Ravens took a guy this high at tackle to sit him. I really think he's going to play right away. I really think I would give him the inside edge basically on everything I've seen here so far. It's been good. Daniel Falele in minicamp. Some people worried about his conditioning. A lot of stuff. I'm not so much because he's so big. Like he's some guys just have that issue early in camp, whatever, and then they're fine for the rest of the year, or they fail a conditioning test and then they're fine the rest of the year. I'm not so worried about that. Sometimes some guys just take a little longer to get ready. I had this up last year, and I think it kind of pivots again. Not disappointed in either guy. I don't think we can lose either way, but I do think it could be possible we could have Travis Jones could take away snaps from Michael Pierce. Now, I kind of said this last year. I kind of thought that, but Michael Pierce was really good last year. So he definitely earned his spot, earned his space to stay as the number one nose tackle. He absolutely earned it. I think Travis Jones actually did develop last year. I really still like what I see from him, but I think Michael Pierce held his position. Can he continue to do that over another year? It's going to be fascinating. I think it's still, I'm kind of in the same place, but I do feel better this year about Michael Pierce than I did the year before. He's definitely held his position. He's definitely held off Travis Jones going into year three. How much better is Jones going to be? I definitely think that can happen. I think this goes good either way. I'm not disappointed either way with this. I think both of these guys, you got one vet that's been getting around for a long time, outstanding run blocker, and Travis Jones, I think, is ascending. Doesn't hurt either guy playing next to Justin Matabuke. That doesn't hurt either. Couple more here. Nate Wiggins, the number 3 cornerback, and Arthur Millette last year. So here's a guy who was the number 3 cornerback last year, last year, and Nate Wiggins, the first round draft pick of the Ravens. I kind of been saying this all the time with the corners. I don't think there's any reason to rush the corners. I think the bigger concern here is how much is Marlon Humphrey's health going to factor in. John Harbaugh has been saying he's having some nagging things, looked a little dejected. He didn't sound good, like from what he said. It'll be fascinating to see how much he goes in. Marlon Humphrey that's factored into this. Now, I'm talking about number 3 cornerback. I think Millette is going to hold on to that. I think he was too good last year to go ahead. I think, though, Wiggins is going to play. I don't think there's any way you can keep him off the field. It'll be interesting to see about that. But I think Wiggins, it's going to be the 4th corner. It's going to be a battle, though. I think Wiggins has got a lot of talent, and eventually, obviously, we all know he's going to be the starting quarterback, I think, as early as 2025, either in Brandon Stevens' spot or Marlon Humphrey if they move on from him after this year. I think he's going to be battling for the three corner. I think this is going to be during the course of the year more than you'll see it in camp. I think Millette, has been had a strong mini camp, strong here early, and I think he'll hold on to it early. I think maybe as the year goes, I think you'll see more him eat up more time. But I like Millette here at the start as well. Couple more pass rush. Tavius Robinson, David Ajabo, and Isaac from Penn State. Um, Robinson, I think has been the word has been very good on him here in camp. Um, Definitely, he's got the athletic ability, I think, to take this. Ajabo, I think we're in the same spot, man. I mean, I don't see it. I'm more and more. Somebody show me something. David Ajabo got to show me something. I haven't heard saw anything. I'm actually not out the practice, so I'm just reading on here. But I haven't heard anything. Man, Ojabo's out here just blowing me away, and I mean, it's just so it's interesting here. There definitely is, I think, a spot open for the pass rush. I think Van Oy. I think they're going to kind of leave him in the same role. He's like 30. He's going to be 35 years old. So I think they would rather not start him. I think so. I think they would rather have one of these guys. I tell you what, Isaac I like a lot. I think I've said that a couple times. I think the problem is he's been injured as well. He hasn't played really during camp. That matters with a rookie. So, and he's a bit of a unique. It's not like he's just a pass rusher, hand on the ground, fish, rush, swim. That's all he's going to. I mean, the way they play it's a little bit more complex. So, if he can get to camp, though, I think healthy, and he should. I think this will be very interesting. I gotta think him and Tavius Robinson and Isaac are ahead of David Ajabo. David Ajabo, I show me something, man. I'm losing faith in David here to see if we can get something from David Ajabo. I'm hoping for it. This is a good one as well. Devin Duvernay is gone. Kick punt returner Tylan Wallace and Deontay Hardy for the starting kick return job as well. Their receiving yards, one catch last year for Tylan Wallace, 11 yards, 15 receptions, 150, 1 TD. Both of these guys, Tylan Wallace, best known for obviously winning the game against the Rams last year with the kick return. So good job for him as well. Deontay Hardy, good cut return for years. I think it's Tylan Wallace. I think I thought they brought him in. I thought they brought him in, but I think he's going to play on special teams. But I really do like Tylan Wallace here. I think Tylan Wallace is a guy they're ready to go ahead and use more in that role. I think he was he's a good special teams player. I think whoever doesn't get it will contribute a lot on special teams and be the backup. So I think both guys have a roster spot, barring anything health wise with these guys. But I think they are both very very good. But I really think they want to see Tylan Wallace on a week in, week out basis. Give him a shot here to go ahead. Because he's not, I think he's more attractive. Where I think Hardy might use him in wide receiver. Wallace, I think pretty much, I don't think they will. I think they're pretty much just going to use him on special teams. And I think that's why I like Tylan Wallace there for that. There you go. The training camp battles for the Ravens. So definitely check that out there as well. The offensive line is big deal. You got 1, 2, 3 training camp battles on the offensive line. They went ahead and got rid of John Simpson. They got rid of Morgan Moses, and they got rid of Kevin Zeitler. Kevin Zeitler was still a pretty good player, but they're giving up a lot here to go ahead now and start with these young players. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Ravens in a lot of these training camp battles, especially on the offensive line. And backup quarterback is concerning to me. That wasn't much. These guys have a long way to go. You got a very late round pick, and you got a guy who's almost 40 who's got more touchdowns than interceptions. He's had a whole career worse than the season Lamar Jackson had last year. So I think Josh Johnson would be fine as the third quarterback. They may have to bring in somebody.